Hello, my name is DC. I'll be giving you match analysis for Russia versus Trinidad and Toba, Tobago. Yeah. All right. So let's get into this one. Russia off the ball here, as we've noticed, the gigantic gap, and also it's a 3 versus 2, so they're definitely going to get outplayed. And then if you see here, Russia have committed a good number of men into the box. We have about three, and then yeah, I know I said three. He's out here. We'll say four, but in this particular case, I'll say three because they're still out wide. So yeah, committed a good number of players. There's another three here. Now look, we have okay. He's close. He's close. Now he's completely free. And then I would maybe I would want this player that's here, maybe just to be here, just for it's one of those how can I say this? Personal preference. And then if you just take a few steps backward, maybe you push forward. Just take a few steps forward because he's too far away from this player to see where he actually is. And I think he's actually in the best position to coordinate passes. Unfortunately, he can't see him and he's not put himself in a position where he can be able to see both the player and just have a glimpse of what's happening here. He should definitely push forward, he should definitely push backwards, and probably could have prevented a few things from happening. Not much they can really do. I mean, and at this point, you can take a few steps forward to give yourself a head start because, okay, look at the only problem is him because he's completely unmarked. He's doing this thing where what do you do? He take a few steps backwards to invite the pass, and then as the pass is played, he probably tries to go and get the ball. Nothing much that can happen, and they'll just keep chasing the ball. It's played in between the legs. That's nice, and just like that, they've lost their man. He was with him, and then I thought he was making space to go for the ball, but he doesn't. He just gets further behind. The player that's here is so focused on here, he's forgotten that there's a guy here. Oh, sorry, yeah. Lets him just completely forgets about him, but it's the other player that ends up, having the shot on goal, and that's a very good save from the keeper. And I'll just say this in advance: the goalkeeper was man of this match because if I was to go through every save he made, this would be a much longer video. Here we go, another chance, right? Long ball is played forward, and now this is a very it's as a defender you don't want to be in this situation because ball has been played right in front of you. There is no cover whatsoever, and then you are forced to make a choice, right? Because already here, two players, there's one there, and then let's just see how well he turns and keeps with the ball because there's certain things people don't notice, but let's see. Yeah, that's a lot of time he took just to make a turn. He did have the time, but yeah, that's a lot of time still. And funny enough, he's making the run, but then again, he's following him, but in a perfect situation, because if you look, everyone here is on the same line, same page, which means they've kept this line and then they probably want to play an offside trap. He does the wrong thing in this case. It's the right thing to do, but in this case, it's the wrong thing. He probably should have just let him go and trusted his team to push upward so that they can play this player offside. That would have been the best thing to do. Unfortunately, that does not happen. He plays him very much onside. Let me just do that. Because he's the furthest. He's the furthest there. He really is. Right? So let's continue. Ball. It's a lovely played ball. And then that's the problem with these. Just one run can cause so much confusion because now he's thinking about going for that ball, but then he's going to go completely unmarked into that space. And then this is a lovely pass because some people actually do try to shoot from here. Lovely played, but now this part, the first part, the striker does very, very well. He sits them down. He sits them down, and then look at how close he keeps the ball to himself. Unfortunately, he just couldn't get the finish. He was very close to the keeper, but he should be scoring. He definitely should be scoring from there. All right, next goal of the match. Somewhere around here. All right, before we even go far, have you noticed something? It is completely empty. No Trinidad and Tobago player whatsoever. They've given the Russians all the space. I mean, there's just so much going on here. And then, yeah. Now, he's unmarked, and then he's probably going to be the first person to arrive at this ball. And I could say they're set up quite okay, except for the fact that he's rushing to this because, this part here, there's a lot of bodies, but then this does sometimes work against the keeper, whereby he can't see anything. And also, he's man to man. Love to see that. I really love to see that. Heads it in, and it's just one of those. There's no one near the D, and this is where the ball is most likely to fall to whenever it's taken out. Then, one touch, goalkeeper, you can see he's trying to see it, he's trying to tell what's going to go. Ah, we know, we know he should have caught that, but we can see it from better from this angle here. Say after he takes the touch, the goalkeeper. I think that's what, because look at where his head is. He's lifting his head up after taking a peek. So those few seconds, so his head is down here. He's trying to see it, so he sees it late. And then by the time the shot is taken, he now has to get up and readjust, and then it just goes through. It just goes slightly underneath his arms. We could say it was crowded, but I do feel we could have still got. He still could have gotten that. I do feel that. I do think so. Anyway, let's head on to the next goal of the match. This goalkeeper was incredible. All right, so boys played out wide right. Now let's see. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. But now this is the unfortunate case where sometimes you have your four-man defense, but like still a gap here, and that's where you need maybe like a midfielder or just someone just to help cover up. But anyway, let's not talk about that. Um, boys played out wide, and now you see his starting position. I know it's played first time, but still. So look at where he's facing. So he has to turn his body. This player that's here is already facing towards goal. He doesn't do so. He has to turn his body and then accelerate to go to the ball. He's already facing the goal. All he has to do is cross it. So there are too many motions for him to go. I mean to undergo, and eventually he's just going to end up leaving more space for people to run into. And then yeah, that's simply what happens. And then he gets the ball played into him, chests it down, and then this is some really good movement. He sees his teammate. So already, okay, before we go through there, one second, completely unmarked. Second, it probably happened more than once. Completely unmarked. Let's see what happens. And then he just clips it, puts it into an area, heads it. Now, this is a bit annoying because he two players go for this and none. It's simply a case of who wants it more. The Russian player wanted it more. I mean, unmarked, all this space in the box. Just no asking for trouble. No pressure whatsoever. Lovely goal. Lovely, lovely goal. Now this is a chance, right? So okay, before we talk about how the defender is positioned or anything, let's look at the players that are supporting him, right? So he's making a run, right? And then these are the supporting players he has. He has two players that are ahead of him, right? So the two supporting players are here and he's here. So now let's watch as this goes on. So that he's taking on players, he's taking on players. So now let's go. Yeah, these two we'll come back to them after a while, but already start looking good because see? Anyway, so this defender is in the worst position he could ever be in. His shoulders are facing this way, knees are facing that way, and his head, or he's facing this way. So now he's put himself in an awkward position because every time he looks back, the attacker can just go the other direction. And so now I think he gets his footing in the last phases of this. Because even then, I mean, again, another 10. I'll explain this properly. But remember what we're talking about, the runners? These two players were ahead of him. And now he's gone. So now, if you know that your teammate is going alone, just support him. Just run. Match his pace. Match his pace or do better. Because you're not... Because yes, you're supposed to put this into the back of the net, but you could have at least given your teammate the support of just being there for anything so that just anything, just help your teammate out because it's very annoying. The amount of effort dribbling, like having to, move with the ball, look up, look down. I know it's professional, but sometimes they do it. And then having to also consider the defender that's here. And then they just stop running. I would be frustrated, to be honest. And then almost scores a lovely goal. So this is what I wanted to talk about. I think let me go back a bit more. So look at number two. So now it's very difficult to defend like this, and you're running the opposite way. But I think he does do a good job at not letting him get one side because he's running through the middle. But now this is where he gets past him. Just a little touch. And then, yeah, he should definitely put this into the back of the net. He should have gone with his right foot, not the left. But those two players that were supposed to support him, I mean, they didn't really help this teammate. They didn't. They didn't help their teammate. All right, so this one is actually this part, right? So look at. All right, so he has the ball, right? So now look at his body shape, right? Because a lot of defenders do not know how to properly block the ball. For some players, let's say for example, right, okay, for reference point, this is a straight line. This is left shoulder, right shoulder. So, and then everything down here is like the chest and whatever, right? So the way he's shaped, if the ball is coming like this, where else is it probably going to go? This way, that way, maybe even back to the player himself. Some other players, funny enough, would shape themselves this way. He's shaped this way. Some other players who defend like this, and then when they stick their leg out, ends up going like that, and then they get surprised when it's an on goal. So this is proper shape because look at where it goes, very far away from the goal. It's a good block, and then that just it shows you also about body shape and making sure you're in the right position to block certain things because it does matter. It really does. And then go here. This was supposed to be a penalty. All right, so he chests it down nicely. And now, I some actions in football aren't really good or bad. What determines action or decision you've made is the outcome. He's rushed out, he's tried to go for the ball, he hasn't gotten it, so that's a bad decision. If he rushed out and cleared the ball, good decision, so this is bad. And funny enough, I actually thought this was a heavy touch, but then again, let's look at the spot, and then, yeah, it's actually a very good touch. But this was a definite foul. I'm surprised this wasn't given, because it should have been given. All right, so, or is he pulling on his short? But they're both pulling each other. But now, the leg. Look at his leg, pal. He trips him. I'm surprised the ref didn't give this. Anywho, let's head on to the next goal of the match. Alright, I have no problem with this. No problem, it happens. I have a problem with the next player that's here. You'll see what he does. So, professional footballer, by the way, right? So, let's look at his options. He's facing this way, right? So, if you wanted, you could have taken this out for a throw in. If possible, he could have, played it here. If he saw that his teammate was here, could have let him pick it up. If he wanted, he could have taken a touch and then gone this way and tried to kick it out. Instead, he tries to loop it over the player. And then distance is also a thing. You're trying to loop the ball over someone, and look at how close he is. Fails to do that, loses the ball, and then let's see, how does he recover? He starts chasing it. Simple 1-2. And as we can see, unmarked in the box. He's unmarked. Where does the ball go to? He flicks it to an area and actually comes from out wide here. Two players going for the ball, and funny enough, it's funny how they don't run into each other because it's funny how that happens more often than not. Wow! Nice goal. Nice goal. And this save here this goalkeeper was incredible. Somewhere around here, right? This is incredible from the goalkeeper because, okay, let's just let this play through. Let's just let this play through because trust me, you're going to appreciate this goalkeeper. Cross is played in, right? He's alone. That's a nice touch. He's in a position where he can shoot. He's in a position where he can shoot the ball. 1v1 with the goalkeeper. Save. Right? And now look at how quick he is to get up. Boom. Save again. He should have gone for the roof. He should have gone for the roof. And I found out the name of the keeper. The keeper is D. Smith. He plays for AV Alta, USL League One. Incredible, incredible, incredible. Denzil Smith, man of the match for this game. Incredible goalkeeper. Because trust me, without him, this could have been a funny scoreline. Otherwise, a good match to see, especially with the goalkeeper. If you want to see more matches like this, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. And peace.